Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Retro Farmhouse. I'm Jessica. If you're new here, consider hitting the subscribe button as well as that notification button so you know when I'm uploading some new videos. So today's idea came from, I have this little carport here and I'm actually sitting on today's project. I wanted to do a little farmhouse bench for basically when we go in and out to the barn, and I want to have a place to sit down to be able to put some shoes on. So I wanted to create like a cute little farmhouse bench out of the materials that I already had. So everything that I have here is pretty much wood that I salvaged or used from other projects. So I hope this gives you some idea and some inspiration to build your farmhouse bench if that's something that you're looking to do. So let's get into today's project. So first I took two 2x4s and cut these down into 4 legs at 19 inches apiece. You can really put yours in any dimensions, but a height average is at least 18 inches, so I made mine just a little taller than that. If you want to make it to where 2 people can sit on it comfortably, you're going to want to make your bench between 42 and 52 inches long in length. Next, I cut 4 sides of my 2x4s at 45 inches so that you'll have 2 for the bottom and 2 for the top. For my 3 side pieces, I cut those down to 13¼ inches, so you'll have 2 on the outside and 1 on the inside as a brace. The one on the inside, this is going to be the top of my bench, and I'm just drilling some pilot holes here and then applying 2 screws into each end. I ended up using some outdoor screws just because if this gets in the weather or anything like that, I don't want these rusting. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be putting your bench on a porch, that you'll be wanting to use some screws that can be used outdoors. For the bottom of my bench, I just cut 2 more 2x4s at the 13¼ inch measurements, and I am basically using the same method, drilling my pilot holes and applying my screws. Next, I'm going to take those 4 2x4s that I measured at 19 inches, and I'm going to use those for my legs. So I'm going to put those on the inside, drilling pilot holes and screwing those in with a couple screws. Once I attached my bottom, then I applied my top and I screwed that on as well. So for the bottom of my bench, I wanted to add a little shelf where I could either put some baskets or some decorative items. And so I took a couple of my 1x5s, these are actually 1x5¼ and I cut those down to 16¼ inches and I made 7 of these to go on the bottom. Next, I took 3 of my decking boards that I had left over and I cut those down to 45 inches and I applied these to the top. This is going to be my seat, so I'm just doing the same thing, doing pilot holes and then using my screws. I always recommend putting pilot holes in first because that reduces the splitting of the wood. Next, I sanded everything down really well, and then I applied some 1x5s to the sides just because I wanted to close that in as well. Now I had a little bit of a gap on both sides once I was done with this, but basically after that, to cover that, I basically just used some trim pieces. So I took some leftover stir sticks, the big ones that I had, and I cut those down and I used those kind of as a trim piece on the side. Later you'll see at the finished product, I also used those to trim a little bit of the top of the bench as well on the back side, just to give it more of that farmhouse barn style door look. This trim piece that I'm applying here is actually an old trim piece that you put around a door we had left over from taking it off of a previous project in the house. So I just kind of repurposed this as a trim piece for the front. So for the bench, I'm going to end up painting it with this Kills siding, fence, and barn paint. It's just a white paint. It works really well. It's just for outdoor use. And this is what I use to paint a lot of my fences with at the farm. So I wanted to match parts of that, and I really like white. So I'm basically just covering all this with a couple coats. And for my shelf on the bottom, I ended up using the stain in Early American by Minwax for the bottom shelf part. To assemble the back piece, I basically took 3 more boards at 45 inches and cut those down and applied 1 by, I believe these are 4s or maybe 1 3.5 to the back side of this, leaving a little bit of edge out on the bottom so that I could screw that into the back. And basically, I think these are just some old baseboards that I had that have been in the barn for quite a while, and I just kind of wanted to repurpose these and use these as well. So basically I'm just screwing all of this together, and then to apply this onto the bench, I just sat it on to the top, and then I just screwed those in to the bottom parts. And here's today's finished product. I really like having this bench out here. It makes it easier when I'm running back and forth to the barn, putting my boots on. And I paired this with some decorative items that I had got from Tractor Supply. Believe it or not, Tractor Supply has a lot of really cute decorative farmhouse type items, and really the best time to purchase some of these is towards the end of whatever season they have. So I got a lot of these olive buckets from there. The small ones, I think they were on clearance for like $1.50 a piece, and this big one I believe I got for under $10, so that's really a steal. So if you're ever looking for farmhouse decor items, I definitely recommend to check them out towards the end of the season. A lot of this stuff goes on clearance. One of my favorite things here is this little star planter. I basically put a fake succulent in it. I got this off of Amazon, so I'll link that below so you guys can check that out. Thank you guys again for coming to my channel and checking out my videos. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, hit that like button, and that definitely helps support my channel. And comment below and let me know if you like today's project, what your ideas are for dressing up your porches and different things that you guys are doing. And stay tuned for our next DIY, and we'll see you guys again next time.